It's Friday night, and you know what that means? Just a bit outside radio show, live on the air, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Hopefully, the YouTube stream holds strong, unlike last week. But it's Friday. It's not our usual night, but yesterday was a very busy day for someone who's been incredibly busy all week. You got Mark, you got Keisha. Keisha, how are you doing?
Oh man, I'm exhausted, but I am here and excited to talk sports with you tonight, man. What's going on, outsiders? Happy Friday. There's a lot going down today in the realm of sports. It's been a fun couple of days, and like Mark said, your favorite host took her talents down to the 305 this week. Pulled a LeBron James and went on down to Miami for a few days. And, man, I had a great time. It was, believe it or not, it was my first time visiting the city of Miami.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a lot of places that I have been that a lot of people haven't been to, but then I have like this list of like places that everyone's been that I have never been. Like Miami and New Orleans, and Los Angeles. I've never, been to some of those huge big cities. So, I've been trying to, check things off my list. And, I like to travel. I like to get on the road and to see concerts and sporting events. And, this week was no different, man. Just really quickly, if you don't mind, I'll just like to talk just a little bit about my trip.
Oh, yeah.
For real. Is that cool?
Yeah,
All right, yeah.
I mean, I guessed right away, like the first thing you did down there. Well, not the first thing, but one of the main reasons you were down there. I texted you it. I was like, "You checking out the Open?"
Yeah. So for those outsiders that do not know, I am a huge, big tennis fan, and I've followed it since I was a little kid. I'd probably say, I started really following it when Venus and Serena got on the scene. For real, as junior tennis players. So I've been in the game. I've been watching the game for quite some time. I've gone to the U.S. Open about 6-7 times, and I wanted to experience some different venues. It's crazy because the U.S. Open Queens is like the biggest of all time.
Yeah.
In tennis, it's like the Wrigley Field, the Madison State Garden. It is like the mecca of tennis tournaments. It's the largest facility. Gets the most attendees. I mean, it's the big show, right? So I kind of, I guess, set the bar like really high off the top, But this is my first time going to a smaller tournament. But I gotta tell you, man, I really did enjoy it. The Miami Open, it being small, it's a lot more intimate. It's not as many people because it can really get packed up there in Queens, and it's Miami, so they do it real big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do it really big. A lot of people come, a lot of stars come to watch the tennis matches. I was able to see Coco Gauff play, who I am a big fan of. I've seen Madison Keys play. I got to see a little bit of Medvedev. I bounced around, and at these tennis tournaments, it's like a festival, if you will. They have interactive things for the attendees and for all of the fans, and they have all the sponsors out there, and of course the good food that you get to experience, and yeah, man. It was really nice. One of the most unique things that I saw at the Miami Open was that they had a gondola lift. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They had a gondola lift ride that would take you from one end of the facility to the next, which I thought was pretty neat, man. Because I
Wow.
mean, yeah. I mean, these tennis tournaments, these facilities they're pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, in Queens, you've got three huge stadiums with like 20, 30 smaller courts that you play outside. And, there can be a lot of walking involved, depending upon how far you're trying to go, what you want to see. You know what I mean? And it was really neat to have that ride and take you from one end of the facility to the next. And, I was thinking, I was like, man, they could really use this in Queens, because I feel like this facility is like 50% smaller than Queens, but I thought that was really neat and very unique. I don't think any of the big ones. I never saw any gondola lifts when watching Australia, or France, or Wimbledon.
Yeah.
So I guess like I said, in Miami they like to do it really big. They like to be flashy and pull out all the stops. But I thought that was really neat, man.
And I can't
Really
imagine
neat.
Miami in March is hotter than New York in August. So
Oh
yeah.
man, I'm gonna tell you, when I took a day session, and in the beginning, there were like no clouds. The sun was in full blast. It was hot as hell.
Really?
I can't think of another. Yeah, man. I mean, I was actually for a minute there out there sweating bullets. I mean, I'm pretty sure alcohol had a factor into it, but it got a little toasty out there. I mean, it was nice to get away from the cold here in the 410 and get some vitamin D and some sunlight and some heat.
Oh,
But
sure.
man, it got a little steamy. It got a
Yeah.
little steamy out there. Yeah. Yeah, and not only did I go see some fantastic tennis, I was also able to go to a Miami Heat game. The Heat played the Warriors, which was also a treat. It's always great to see basketball players who are going to be legends, and in that I mean the great Steph Curry. Um, it was a decent game. It was a dicey game. Uh, Draymond had a Draymond moment, um, but also there, that arena was really nice. It was really nice. The one thing that stood out to me at that arena was that on each floor, like even all the way up to the top,
Yeah.
carpeted, yo.
Really?
Yes, carpeted and clean and smelled good. Like you didn't see like any gum things on the ground or anything like that. Like I mean, I was just so impressed how well that arena is maintained. I got to be honest. I mean, when I walked in, I was like, holy crap! This whole thing has carpet. And it's clean and it looks good. I mean, it's just like Miami is it's something else. I gotta tell you, it's something else. I mean, it was, it's hard to think about your own local venues when you're talking about Miami, man. I mean, it was just really amazing. A great basketball game. Again, stars were out for that. One of the hot male tennis players right now, Carlos Alcaraz. He was at the game, and of course, with the Miami Open happening, they shed some light on that, and it was I guess a cross sports, if you will. Like, I mean, it was really neat. That was also a really good experience. I I tip my hat off to the
Yeah.
folks at that arena, man, because I mean I was just so impressed with how well that facility was maintained.
I'm
And
I'm racking my head trying to think if I've seen anywhere with carpet like that. That's
I swear to
wild.
God, like Mark, my mouth was just open, and I probably looked like a whole tourist because I was just marveling at everything. I mean, the bathrooms, it was crazy. I mean, even walking to my seat, man, I was on the top level, and gosh, I got to tell you, to go see Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, that shit costs, yo.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little surprised by the ticket prices, but I paid it. I paid for the experience. But when I was walking through one of the hallways, the corridors to get to my section, marveling at the carpet, I hit this particular corridor where it was just memorabilia and posters and things on the walls from Miami Heat history. Like Pat Riley coaching,
Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning. I mean, I took plenty of videos and pictures. So I'm gonna put something out there for the outsiders to look at. Maybe I'll try to put a little reel together so you guys can grasp my Miami trip, man. But yeah, I mean, I can't say anything else than Miami does it real big. I mean, just walking around downtown and seeing like the yachts. I mean, we have an inner harbor and we have a marina and whatnot, and there's some pretty nice boats that pull up down here in the 410. But some of those yachts that I saw were bigger than most people's houses.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've gone on cruise ships and things like that, but this was my first time seeing like, I don't know, like a Rick Ross. I mean, that's the only thing I can say because everything was like Rick Ross down there, like a Rick Ross sized yacht, man. I mean, it looked like a little hotel on water, man. I mean, it was pretty amazing, man. I took it all in. And not only did I do the sports thing, but I was able to go to the arts district, which was called Wynwood. I highly recommend everyone to visit that on their next trip to Miami. I mean, you would think, Mark, that I would hit up the clubs and the bars and party hard, but man, I didn't hit up one club the whole time I was down there. I mean, I was just, there were so many events, so many things to do. The Wynwood was so amazing, so many great restaurants. Like, Mark, I swear to you, I ate from the time I hit the sidewalk to the time that I left. I mean, I was there for about a good 4 hours and ate like at least 3 times.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned eating because on the YouTube chat we do have the professor joining in.
Okay.
And he says, "How was the food about Miami?"
Oh now, man!
Before you get to that, there's another comment I want to highlight. But he also has an offer. He says, "Let me know when you're trying to do New Orleans." And there's another mutual friend of ours that has some experience down there in New Orleans, and I'm sure she'd be down. Laura, she actually lived down there for a while, so we got plenty of options for New Orleans people to let us see that Voodoo City.
But, hey man, I'm with it. I mean, that's the restaurant capital of the United States, so
Oh yeah.
And I love to eat. One thing that about Jabo, we don't shy away from no damn food over here.
so how was that Miami Eden?
Oh man, it was great. Of course, I had to go. I had to have tacos.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to this place called Coyo Taco. It was in Wynwood. Fantastic food, fantastic vibe. Man, I mean, they had the music going. I mean, it was the middle of the day, too. You couldn't even tell. And, I mean, that was really good. I had some gelato. Fantastic. Of course, I had to have a slice of pizza. So I found one of the more popular pizza spots down there and had a big New York style slice. Man, I mean, they really have some. Oh God, I even had. One night I went to a sushi spot and had some good eating there. I mean, it's decent, man. It's decent. I mean, the food, the vibe, everything. I mean, it just had Major Keith written all over it, yo, all over it. And another one of the favorite things of my trip was in Wynwood, and like I said, it was in the arts district, and the murals. Oh my gosh. the murals were so huge and extravagant, and just there were so many different kinds, yo. I mean, they had a huge ass welcome to Florida, or welcome to Miami, messy
Yeah.
mural, which was sweet. I mean, they had a Jay Dilla, if you're into music. Rest in peace, Jay Dilla mural. Another rest in peace. So they had a MF Doom mural where they put the MF Doom mask onto Charlie Brown's face. Man, I mean, it was. I got plenty of pictures of that too, man. But oh, man, I wish I had more time down there for real, because there's just so much to see. There's so many things I didn't get to do that I wanted to. But yeah, man, just a great weekend in the 305. And you know what? Let me just say one more thing too. I gotta shout out the people of Miami in their driving. I rented a car there. Okay, and when I put in the reservation, when I paid for the car and everything, I paid for and I'm being completely honest with you guys. I paid for the second cheapest level rental car available. So, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just gonna be, just riding around trying to get to point A to point A, point B. I really don't know my way around, and for my first time in the city, I don't like to rely on public transportation and Lyfts and Ubers, because I just don't know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I go to pick up my car, and I don't know how the hell this happened, but the rental place gave me a candy red Charger. So, Major Keish she was feeling herself, and she was feeling the Miami vibes. Put on the shades, man, went cruising, talked a lot of smack to some people, you know what I mean? But the one thing I will say, it seems like every speed limit was 70 miles an hour, but everyone can drive. I mean, I have been to some cities where I'm like, Jesus Christ, these people cannot drive.
Yeah.
But not in Miami, man. I mean, it was fast and furious, but in a controlled way. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but they could really drive. I loved the way I wasn't in too much traffic for too long. I think the longest that I was in traffic was leaving the Miami Heat game, which made sense because you were downtown in the thick of it. You know what I mean? But even then, I think I was in traffic for maybe 5-10 minutes. For real. But, I got to shout them out, man, because, like I said, I've been in some cities where I'm like, God, these people cannot drive. I mean, Virginia's known for its horrible drivers. But, man, not down in Miami, man. Those people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing down there.
It's almost like you come from a place that has lawless driving.
Right. Right. And everybody was really nice. Came in contact with everybody that I talked to, and one of the things that I will take with me, there was tragedy happening in the 410 while I was down in Florida.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I talked to, and I said, yeah, I'm from Baltimore. There were several people that were like, oh my God, I just heard about that bridge. Have you checked on your family? Have you done this, that, and the third? How you doing? You know what I mean? And that was a good feeling, man. To see, people care about that and wish me well and wish the city well and say things like, we're praying for your city or we're pulling for your city. Man, I mean, it was really nice, yo. It was really nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
I was asked about you, and people asking, how I was doing and if we were close to it and everything. Almost every person, the second question, how about Keisha?
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy because, that morning I had gone out the night before and, kind of got a slow start that day. And I looked at my phone and it was just all of these calls and text messages and, I was just like, holy crap, man, what the hell? And, I got to shout out all of my friends, my family, my fans from all over. I mean, people texted me from all over the country,
Yeah.
asking if we're okay. How's everybody doing? How's everybody holding up, man? And, I really felt the love in a very, very sad time.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you almost, I mean, not that there was much that I could do, but to be away from home and having to, watch on TV, watch them on my phone, social media, this and the third. Man, I mean, that's kind of like a hurting feeling for real, for real.
I
Because you feel all the more helpless.
yeah.
Because you're not there with your family. You're not, you know, you don't necessarily know what's going on by the minute. You kind of gotta find out things like secondhand. So um, it was good to feel the love from the people of Miami, man. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But enough about me and 305. Let's talk about some sports. Man. So we are in the thick of it with March Madness. Baseball has kicked off, and which one you want to do first, man? You want to do let's do basketball first, as a matter of fact, since
We got some
things
we got some
it's
ladies
kicked
games
off.
going on already, so yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Okay. So, Mark, I'm sitting up here. I am looking at our Elite Eight picks. We didn't do horrible. We didn't do horrible. I said last week that this tournament was going to be off the chain, and I think that's probably the one thing that I've gotten right as far as this tournament has been concerned, man. I mean, because it's been quite a few surprises.
Yeah.
Up until this point, all the way up until last night. Kansas, Kentucky, I predicted early exits for them. That came to fruition. NC State is still going strong. We've got some great games tonight. Whew. How about we let's quickly, since I took so much time, I took a little bit more time to talk about Miami than I wanted to, but let's go through each game for tonight's matchup in the men's and the remaining two games for the women, and just give our little thoughts and our picks for tonight's basketball matchups.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with. Okay, so we got two games going on right now. Let's go ahead and let's go with the women.
Well, okay.
I don't think we had NC State either. Holy crap!
Humble brag on my personal picks in the Sweet 16. I did have Gonzaga this far.
Okay.
And I did have NC State this far.
Okay.
But
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, some of those they're a little bit higher seated, so you want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know who I have going on. Oh, I have Texas.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so first game's up is NC State versus Stanford. Mark, you said you had NC State coming this far. They are yeah, the game is at 7:40. Okay, right now Stanford is 4.5-point favorites. That is, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair line. I don't think there are too many. I think they got it just right with the line, as a matter of fact. Of course, Stanford is the favorite. They are the ones most people are looking to advance in this matchup. But, what are your thoughts on this one, Mark? I mean, does NC State have a chance in hell in beating this powerhouse squad?
I mean, they always have a chance, right?
Yeah.
it's tournament. Everyone has a chance. But no, I was. I think I was one of those people that was shocked that Stanford was a 2 seed, or not shocked,
Yeah.
but I thought they had
A little surprised. Yeah, sure.
they had a strong case to be a number one, but they already had a Pac-12 with USC as a number one, so could they do that? Um, and Stanford has, in recent history, been one of the better teams overall. So yeah, I think they have that tournament experience. They know where they are.
Yeah.
They go deep seemingly every year. So I think Stanford's got this one. I think Stanford will move on.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. But I'm gonna tell you, outsiders, as far as this spread is concerned, I think this game is going to be a close one.
Yeah.
It seems like the last few games in the women's tournament have, I mean, these underdogs, they haven't been backing down easy, and people have been squeaking out wins. I mean, I just said that South Carolina squeaked out a win today. They won by 4 points. I could definitely see Stanford's win margin tonight being less than 4 points. I mean, I believe that North Carolina State is going to put up a fight. Okay? I mean, Isaiah James, she's just been crazy. Okay? She put up 22 points in that game over Tennessee. She's been balling out of control, and she's going to look to continue to score tonight against Stanford. So I think we're in for a treat with that particular matchup. But yes, I'm glad to say, Stanford advances as well. This next matchup against Gonzaga and Texas, I believe we both picked Texas to move on. But I believe that, let me pull up the spread on this one just so I make it. Yeah, I got it right. Yep, spread on this is 6.5. I actually think that this game might be a blowout for real.
Think so?
Yeah, I think that it's they could win by over 8 points. I think that win margin is going to be a lot great. One of the bigger win margins of the day. You still looking to ride? Are you still looking to ride Texas's coattails?
I'm still riding Texas, but I think if it is 8 points, it's going to be one of those situations where there's a lot of fouls, like in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah,
try to get the ball
that
back.
kind of gets away from them in the last 2-3 minutes of the game.
I think it might be a lot closer. Gonzaga, I mean, in the round of 32, it's still 32 teams, but that's a 4 and a 5, and that's those 1 seed differences that you see a lot of competitiveness, and they beat Utah by like 11. So I think we're seeing a Gonzaga team that could shock some people. I still think Texas is going to take it, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Okay, and hey, we like close ones, right? I mean, we saw a lot of close ones last night with the men's portion of the tournament. I mean, 3 of the 4 games were decided by 5 points or less.
Yeah.
And North Carolina took that L. I believe that we both. Let me take a look here. Okay, no, we actually. I think you had North Carolina making it to the Elite 8, but I had them going down, and I think I had them going down. I think I had them going down in this round. Actually, I got to look at my bracket. But Alabama took down North Carolina. Big upset there. 4 seed taking out a 1 seed. Clemson and Arizona. What a game. I mean, Mark, we were texting last night a little bit offline. Clemson came up a little bit short at the end. And, I mean, I got to say I was surprised. What were you – you're a big Arizona guy. That's your home state. You're from the area. The first half of the first half, okay? So the first 10 minutes of the game, okay?
Yeah.
What were your feelings after the first 10 minutes of the first half?
I'll be honest. I didn't even watch all the first 10 minutes of the first half because I don't know how many times I turned the game off in disgust. And
God!
I'm not watching. I'm not watching. I was jinxing them by watching. I
Oh,
had
you
that.
went through. Oh, you went through all the fan
I
motions.
had that fan mentality.
Oh God. Oh God.
um,
Okay. Well. All right. So Clemson got out on an early lead. Got out on an early lead. I mean, you do know that.
oh yeah, because I kept on turning it back on and then being disgusted and turning it back off. But
Yeah.
I will say, the way that Clemson took out Baylor, I said like they need to take him seriously, and you know, Clemson just proved that they were as legit as they showed.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. To me, the biggest thing, and I don't know if you will agree with me on this, um, that led to the Wildcats' demise was the guard play.
Okay.
Okay, like Caleb Love. I mean, he had 13 points, but 0 for 9 from the 3-point line, 5 for 18 on the field goals. It's rough.
Yeah.
That's
Especially
rough.
like in the last 12 minutes or so,
Yeah,
they wanted to play like panic threes, like oh we need to hit the threes
yeah,
to catch up. No, you just do layups and take the ball, but they couldn't. They were letting Clemson get like 3 or 4 rebounds on offensive possessions. And that's
yeah,
just there's no
yeah.
way.
Boswell and what's the other kid? Larson.
Larson.
Yeah, they didn't play particularly well either. I mean, 11 points between the two of them. So and it just seemed like Clemson Tigers, they were clicking on all cylinders. I mean, I remember watching the first 10 minutes of this game. I'm like, okay, Clemson's got an early lead. And I think even you texted like, Arizona's a second half team. And I was fully expecting Arizona to come out in the second half and right the ship, but it just seemed like, man, not let up. And for whatever reason, the basketball gods were on their side last night. So tough loss for Arizona. But
when I texted you that was I think more of a prayer than a statement.
But I think the Clemson Tigers have put everybody on notice. That is a team that you do not want to see in this tournament.
Yeah, and with North Carolina going down, that means they got Alabama next, and I think we could see Clemson in that Final Four.
Yeah. The Illinois-Iowa State game, that was a good one too. Another underdog, even though, this is a 3 versus a 2, pulled it out in the final 2-3 minutes of the game. Shout out to Illinois for advancing and moving on to that Elite 8. And, it makes for some pretty good matchups. But, we got to finish out the rest of the Sweet 16 tonight. So let us take a look at tonight's games.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 underway right now. My darlings, my Cinderella team, NC State, ranked 11, taking on number 2 Marquette, and they are in the driver's seat right now. And we're in the first half. It's 26-19. Man, I got to tell you, NC State is another team that you do not want to see. Man, I mean, DJ Burns is like. It's like a little DJ Shaq or something, man. I mean, he is just so and I don't know if he's like taking a few shots of espresso before the games, but he has just been on fire and just been coming up with so much energy throughout this tournament, man. And you sprinkle a little DJ Horn on top, man. The Wolfpack, they looking real good. They're looking real good.
Yeah, they. I feel like they were like a Cinderella favorite. A lot of people were talking about them to begin with.
Yeah.
But I don't think people thought they'd do this good.
Yeah.
And I mean Marquette, they're number 2 for a reason.
Yes.
They've had a really good season, and I like the way they looked in the first 2 rounds. But man, NC State, my matchup. Yeah, I had Marquette in Kentucky.
Hmm.
Um, Kentucky got bounced, and I think NC State could move on from this one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that was my pick to go into the Elite Eight. I am a big believer in the Wolf Pack. And I even think they were like 7.5 point favorites. I took them on the. I mean, I'm
Wow.
sorry, 7.5 point underdogs. I took that all day tonight. So, so far I'm looking real good. It's looking really good. Yeah, I'm looking for them to advance as well. So, we'll update you on those scores before we sign off for the evening. But the second game that is currently going on right now, we talked about both of these squads. We talked about Gonzaga. We talked about Purdue. I think this is actually going to be a good one, Mark. I mean, both of us last week expressed our reservations about the Purdue squad. They could potentially lose this game tonight. I feel like, and if I had to pick an upset special, this would be the matchup.
Oh, for sure. I agree. And shout
Yeah,
out to Gonzaga for like proving everyone wrong. Because
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
last week I had said like they're not the Gonzaga of old. They looked very fallible all season long,
Yeah,
and they came out and did the thing these first two rounds and showed that
yeah,
they're not going to be silenced. And them
yeah. I
taking
mean,
out the number one, it could happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we spent a lot of time. A lot of people spent a lot of time talking about Creighton being the new talk of the town. Dogs are saying, "Hey, man, do not forget who we are." And we've been a strong program for quite some time now, and they have showed up and showed out. Right now, they are down 1 point. It's still early in the first. Oh, well, they just went up. Gonzaga is now leading Purdue 9-7. And you guys go ahead and circle that. I mean, these first two games, they got upset special look written all over it. I mean, of course, NC State being an 11 seed, that will be a much greater, he's a much greater underdog than a number 5 going up against a number 1. But, yeah, you know, it's to me, it's like they're kind of like equal underdogs because, like you said, no one was expecting them to make it this far.
Yeah, I didn't.
Absolutely. Um, okay, so I am looking at our notes from last week. We both had Purdue. And I remember you saying last week, everything in me is telling me to not pick this. But we both went on and picked them because they were number 1. I'm going to backtrack tonight.
And all the selection show specials and everything, people
Yeah.
were picking Purdue. Like that's
Yeah.
the only reason I think I have them in the Final Four, and that's the only reason.
I mean, we hate followers. We are not sheep. We are leaders. We are not followers. So I say we go against the grain tonight. I mean, I'm going to back Gonzaga tonight, man. I'm going to change my mind up here.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
changing my mind.
Hell yeah.
Okay, my man, you with me on that one?
I wish I could just change it in the brackets.
Yeah, I know, right? Speaking of the brackets, mine's just like piss poor. I stopped checking it after the second day. I was like, Christ. But,
I got 12 of the Sweet 16. I was looking good last
yeah.
night. Not so much though.
Yeah. So the last two games of the night, I think these are going to be. Man, I mean, all of these games have potential to be really good. Okay, and the next matchup that I'd like to talk about, I am going to have to stand corrected, and I am very proud of my Duke team. I love Duke. I've always been a big fan of Coach K, and the players and the program. I mean, here we are, Sweet 16. I will stand corrected. I said, oh, they're going to get bounced in the second round. I don't like what I've seen. I pissed it down at the ACC tournament, blah, 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 blah. But here we are. I mean, 9:39 tonight. They are taking on number 1 Houston. They have put up a valiant effort, but, I got to say it, I'd be surprised if they win this game tonight.
You take everything I just said about Gonzaga just now and apply that to Duke. Like they looked fallow. They too had a good season, but like they get bounced in the ACC first round.
Yeah.
It wasn't the strongest season for them. and I probably had them at a getting bounced earlier, probably second round.
Yeah.
And then they go up and put up 30, 40-point wins in the first 2 rounds.
Right.
like,
Right.
I think I still have I still have Houston going all the way, or not all the way, but past this round.
Yeah.
But I first thought Houston would probably blow out Duke, but I think Duke's gonna make it competitive. And they've shown us something that we didn't see. I didn't see it.
Yeah, yeah, and one of the best intangibles about the tournament is momentum.
Oh, for sure.
We were just talking offline about the women's side of things, and how the last round there were so many games that were so close, and it looks like it continues on. When you're a high seed and you're squeaking by, and when I say squeaking by, I'll even take it out to like 5 or 6 points. If you're a number 1 seed and you're only winning by 5 or 6 points, you're squeaking.
Yes.
Okay. It can affect the psyche. Okay, when you're constantly looking over your shoulder, or every time you go out and play a game and it's close and the other team is fighting, that can mess with your head. There is an exact opposite for blowout wins, especially when people have been counting you out. And I think that is what's going on with Duke right now. Like you said, big, huge wins, first 2 rounds. Man, I'm pretty sure they're feeling like they can whip anybody's ass. And, with a very good Houston squad, I am hoping that they continue to ride that momentum, and we see another good game tonight. But like I said, I don't think they're going to make it out of this one alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your Creighton boys. And we got that's the last matchup of the evening. And I think this is also going to be a very good game. So we have Creighton going up against Tennessee. Again, these two are very close in seeding. We got a 3 going up against the number 2. Let's see. All right, Mark, I'm going to let you speak on this one because you have Tennessee advancing to the Elite 8.
I do. And
okay, so what do you like about this matchup?
Honestly, I don't really know. I don't get to watch enough of these guys during the year, so I just see what we see at tournament time. But Creighton, they've elevated, like I said last week, they've elevated themselves from a Cinderella to a number 2, number 3. What are they? And
yep.
And now, they got through the first 2 rounds. Now they're the underdog. A 3 or no. Yeah, 3 against a 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we've seen solid play out of both of them. Tennessee got past Texas by 4 points last game.
Yeah.
Marquette. Actually, wow. Their game against Colorado was 4 points also. I'm gonna stand by my pick with Tennessee. It's without knowing too much about either team and just catching glimpses of tournament time. But I'm gonna say this one go either way. I don't even know what the line is.
It's Tennessee minus 3.5. That sounds about right. I picked Creighton, and like you, I don't really know too much about either team. Like Mark said, there are hundreds of college basketball teams. Even when it comes down to like tournament time, you still, I don't even know how people come up with some of the fantastic brackets. The ones that do well.
Oh, yeah.
How they are able to, keep track and make such educated guesses on 64 teams, man. It's extremely difficult, especially, when most of us work. You know what I mean? But The one thing I will say, it's got to be like some type of computer program that people be generating or something. I have no idea. But the one thing I will say about this basketball game, it's going to be a lot of offense. We got two of the top scoring teams in college basketball playing tonight. So, what I'm looking for is a whole lot of points. I actually selected Creighton to advance. I went with a lot of underdogs
Yeah, you
this
did.
year.
I looked at your brackets.
Yeah, I know. I had Mississippi State. That shit just like dead in the first round. But the Creighton, they've just been surprising a lot of people this season, and I'm just hoping that they continue to ride the wave for my bracket's sake. So it looks like we're on opposite ends of that game, homie. But all in all, you guys tune in again tonight because buckle up. I think we're in store for some more fantastic, college basketball. I mean, I'm still recovering from last night, man. I mean, I had the baseball game, then I was like, I came from Miami to Baltimore, went to the baseball game, then came home, watched all of this, basketball, and my mind is like fried right now, and I'm about to do it all over again. And so, I think it's going to be another exciting night, and I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to say, we haven't even talked the baseball game yet.
Let me tell y'all like this, okay? The Orioles are no longer a secret. Okay? That has been illustrated by the drastic change in the odds. You talk about first game last season versus first game this season. I think last year the Orioles were like, just to make the AL, they were like, it was something insane, like plus 2,500, plus 365, or something like that.
Yeah.
Now they're like plus 500. Like, it's really crazy. It's crazy and it's not crazy, but just what a difference a season makes. And I went out to the game yesterday, and it was awesome. They had Kellerkin out there. They did all of the pregame celebration, all the fireworks, all the hubbubaloo. It was cool, but honestly, it's like the series with the Texas Rangers didn't even happen. I mean, these guys came out yesterday, and the bats were alive. Everybody did well, man. And gosh, you know how hyped I was to add Corbin Burns to the pitching arsenal.
Yeah. Which, so we all know the deal with Masson. You got to have cable. I don't have cable, so I had to listen to the game. And Burns didn't exactly have the best spring training.
Yeah.
So when they got that home run off of him, first inning still, I think.
Yeah. First, famous stuff. I think it was Mike Trout was like the second or third batter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no.
Yeah. I actually when the home run went down, I said, oh, holy hell. I was kind of having flashbacks to that one pitcher we got. What was his name? Flaherty?
Okay. Ryan Flaherty.
The from last season, he had a great start and then stunk it up. We traded for him or something. We got him during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And then he was just horrible. I was like, oh my God, I hope he did not pick up another dud. But man, would I have to? That home run, I got to chalk that shit up to Mark Trout saying, hey, I'm back on the scene, okay?
Because that's almost exactly what the commentators on the radio broadcast were saying, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, you can never discount Mike Trout, and
Yeah.
He hasn't had the best couple of seasons, but he's going to be a playmaker. And bam, home run. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Honestly, if anybody else hit that home run, I probably would have been cussing him out off the top, for real, for real. But like I said, I chalked that up to, okay. I even said to my buddy, I was like, hey, man, Mike Trout's letting everybody know he's still out here. Y'all better respect me, and respect my game.
Yeah.
But not only that, maybe some jitters. Maybe some jitters. I mean, I know we have a lot of times we look at players and professional players as these unwavering gods, but they still get jitters. They still get nervous, First game, new town. I don't think that type of thing ever wears off as a player.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, after he got that out of his system, my man settled down and locked in.
Oh, yeah.
He brought 11 Ks. I mean, fantastic start. You could not think of a better. I mean, take out the home run, he couldn't have had a better start unless he did like a shutout or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What do you go, like 6 innings? 5?
Yeah,
6,
it was solid. It was solid. I mean, by the time when he was walking off that field, I'm out there screaming, "This is the missing piece!" I'm like, I'm in the zone, and the Orioles, our young guys, they continue to rock out, man. They continue to rock out. Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson. I mean, Santander. Everybody was hitting last night. I think there were only like maybe 2 people that really didn't get in the zone. My boy Cedric Mullins is one of them. But
he got that home run.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hold on. That's Cedric. I'm sorry, not Cedric, Urias. But he had 3 at bats and he did get the home run. But there were a lot of multiple hit players last night.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers and how serious their lineup looks. Orioles are no slouch either, man. I mean, for Cedric Mullins to be moved down to the what is it, the 7th slot?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, what I was saying yesterday is if that bottom third of the lineup manages to lock in and get into the zone, the Orioles will be jamming from top to bottom. To me, I mean, they don't have. I mean, we're a blue-collar team, right? We don't have the stars like Mookie and Freddie. We don't have all of those stars and shit. Now Shohei Ohtani, Christ Almighty, we don't have those stars. But in my eyes, they are damn near, if not equally dangerous lineups.
Oh yeah. And come May, probably around May 10th, May 12th, somewhere around there, it's almost a foregone conclusion that Jackson Holliday is going to be joining the team.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. And since you were talking about some of our youngest guns, I want to shout out Westberg. He had a pretty decent spring training, and he did all right yesterday. He had a hit, drove in a run, and for one of the youngest guns, he made an impact, and it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
So the Orioles are looking real good, man. Starting off 1-0. Tomorrow, they are playing again at the Yard. They took tonight off. The game is, God, I should know this because I'm supposed to be there. The game is at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be there with one eye open. I already know it. It's going to be so miserable. The game starts at 4 o'clock, and we are going to have Oh boy, it should be fun. Griffin Cannon on the mound for the Angels against Grayson Rodriguez, who, I mean, Mark, you know how I felt about Grayson Rodriguez. I mean, he wasn't one of my favorite pitchers last season, but you know, in my opinion, I felt as though I felt as though he underperformed.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. You know, I was hesitant to say it because I love my Orioles, but I got to keep it 100. So I will be very interested to see what he comes to the mound with tomorrow, to see what he has worked on, because, you know, like I said, he underperformed. We had such big hopes for Grayson, and hopefully he can turn things around and start this season off with a win against the Angels.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Trying to find out how his spring was, because I didn't keep up with Grayson too much. But
you said what now?
I'm trying to see how his spring went, but I can't find much on Grayson's spring.
Yeah, you know, when it came to the Orioles and talking about spring training, I really didn't hear too much about him.
Yeah.
You know, he's for me, he's a big question mark. Sounds like he's a big question mark for you too. So, you know, we'll see what he comes with. He's gonna bring that heat tomorrow. I certainly hope so, because I mean, it would be a great way to follow up such a stellar performance by Corbin Burns.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay. I think I have taken everything off of my menu. Is there anything in the wrestling, in the world of wrestling, or anything else you wanted to talk about before we sign off and watch these games tonight?
WrestleMania is coming up in Philly a week from tomorrow. 2-night event.
Yeah.
It's gonna be amazing. The Rock is back. The Rock and Roman Reigns facing Cody
and
Seth Rollins in night 1. And if Rock and Roman win, then it's Bloodline rules on Cody and Roman's match night 2. But The Rock and Roman Reigns will be on Raw Monday night. And let me tell you, Rock's promos have been fire.
Yeah.
Cody's promos have been fire. There was even a segment with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre this last Raw that I think was maybe one of the best that they've ever done. For years for promos, WWE. But like this week, that's it. It's like the final Raw, final SmackDown before the WrestleMania. So enjoy it. That WrestleMania build's always amazing, and I'm sure I'll do a little bit more of a preview next week.
All right, awesome. I remember when you, I think it was maybe a couple of months ago when we talked about the Rock joining the show.
Yeah.
That built up a lot of anticipation. Is finally here, so I am looking forward to hearing how that all works out.
Yeah,
I can't believe it. You know, I'm still kind of surprised.
Can I rage at WWE for a minute?
Sure, go for it.
Like I said, WrestleMania XL, it's up the road, up in Philly, not too far away. And even like when it was first announced, I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out. Lincoln Financial Field, it's a stadium. It's a football stadium. It's huge. It's going to hold 60, 70,000 at least.
Yes.
Why are the cheap seats, limited view, blocked view or whatever, $150? I was excited to go to WrestleMania. I'm going to be more excited to sit at home and watch it on Peacock.
Hell yeah, man. For $150, you can order yourself a smorgasbord, a couple 6-packs, and make a whole night of it. But $150?
For the cheapest seat, yeah.
Wow.
And it says limited view. So, you know, you probably got
I was going to say, like, what the hell does that mean? I mean, I haven't been to Lincoln Field. So, I mean, I really don't know what the setup is like. But usually, I mean, we're talking about the top tier here, right?
Top tier, yep. And it's
how the hell do you manage a limited view when you all the way to hell up top? Like, I don't understand that.
You probably got a column.
Usually limited Okay. Yeah, but I mean, but even still, like, usually you get limited. I mean, I go to concerts, I go to, sport
Yeah.
events all the time. Limited views are usually on the second and first levels because
Well,
there's structures there. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is there's obviously WWE builds that big structure, kind of like covering the
Okay.
one for rain,
Okay, okay,
but
okay,
it's like
okay.
lighting and video boards and everything. So
Right, okay.
that might obstruct some of the view of the ring. Which, if you're sitting up in the nosebleeds anyway at Lincoln Financial or any stadium, you're not watching the ring most of the time. You're gonna be watching those video
Yeah,
boards.
of course. Right,
Yeah.
because you want to see what's happening like up close. Right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, cool deal. Anything else you want to cross off the list before we sign off?
That is it.
Okay, well, you guys, as always, thank you for tuning in tonight on our special off night. Thank you for hanging in there with us this week. It's been a busy week, but, Mark and I love getting together and chatting it up and addressing the comments with you guys, every week. So whether it be Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, I mean, we've been all over the place. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of having your own shit, right, Mark?
Exactly. We'll be broadcasting next Sunday morning. No.
My man. And as you know how we end this show, Baltimore, spread love, yo. Especially now. I mean, I feel this particular sign off, especially now, with my whole entire heart. This week has been tragic and devastating for a lot of us here in the 410, yo. So everybody could use a little bit of love. Where you may not have been directly impacted by that bridge crash, but you felt it all the same.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Mark agrees with that. Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah, man. So, make sure you do that, man. Spread the love. Spread the love this week and coming week, and give hugs, yo, because you never know who might really need it. As always, wash your hands, wash your ass, keep clean, prevent germs. You know what it is. But it's me, Keisha, signing off for tonight, along with my favorite slice of pizza, Mark. And we are just a bit outside. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Peace, peace.